System, Lafayette Consolidated Government, Digital Soul Media. The views and opinions reflected today is the views and opinions of the guests, the hosts, and the director.
All right. I want to say good morning to all. Good morning to my co-host. Good morning to the director. And good morning to myself. But before we get the prayer on, I would like to send my condolences to the Chris Como family.
Correct. We gotta send our bereavement to the Como family.
Yeah.
Mr. Wallace Como, you have our deepest sympathy.
Yeah, the family of Chris Como, y'all have our deepest sympathy. I am gonna miss him because he was a decent friend. Every now and then we would argue, but we would always hug and make up and say, man, we don't need to go through this. But he's going to be a well-missed guy in the community. And with that, I want to always start our show off with the prayer. And let me see if I can get the prayer warrior on the line.
Good morning.
Good morning, my prayer warrior.
Good morning, everybody.
How is everything going with you this morning?
Thoroughly blessed, sweetie. I have no complaints.
Oh, that's what I say. We always have blessed days and highly favored days.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
So we ready to get our show started. We all out and ready to go for you to ignite our spirit.
Beautiful. Now I want to let the public know my name is Ruby Bratton. I am your prayer warrior. I am honored to be your prayer warrior. I want to read the delicious word of the day. If you guys want to check me out, you can go find me on Facebook, Ruby Bratton, and it'll tell you all about the other things I do. What I love the most is delivering the word.
Oh, yes. Very good.
The word of today: no matter what your circumstances may be, you can find joy in my presence. On some days, joy is generously thrown along your life path, glistening in the sunlight. On days like that, being content is as simple as breathing, and breathing the next breath or taking the next step. Other days are overcast and gloomy. You feel the strain of the journey, which seems endless. Dull gray rocks greet your gaze and cause your feet to ache. Yet joy is still attainable. Search for it as it's for hidden treasure you're seeking. Begin by remembering that I have created this day. It is not a chance occurrence. Recall that I am present with you, whether you sense my presence or not. Then start talking to me about whatever it is on your mind. Rejoice in the fact that I understand you perfectly, and I know exactly what you are experiencing. As you continue communicating with me, your mood will gradually lighten. Awareness of my marvelous companionship can infuse joy into the greatest day. Those messages can be found in Psalms chapter 6, Proverbs chapter 2 to 4, and Colossians 1 through 16.
Wow. Hey, look, talking about enlightening spirit. If nobody else's spirit is enlightening through the word, mine is definitely because, I can't hide that. You was the one that turned the light back on in my head a couple of years ago, and I sure appreciate you, and Brother Keith and Brother Jay appreciate hearing the word on Friday morning, but you and I have the word going on all the time, so it's always a blessing hearing the word from you.
Right, and we just want to share it with everybody because what Wallace just stated, how the word is his word. I brought the word to him because I knew that he loved the Lord. I knew that, and so it changed his life. I mean, it brightened both of our lives, and we just want to do that for everybody else.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith, Brother Jay,
Thank
you
you.
guys, Wallace. Our crew is on here.
All right.
And thank you for that beautiful word of encouragement. I enjoy it every Friday. It's always good to have something that uplifts the spirit and rethinks the thoughts of the minds. It's always great every Friday.
It is, and I love you guys dearly because I know that we know what to do. We can't fail when we put him first.
That's right. You sure right about that. You know.
Yeah, you guys enlighten my spirit. I think it do more for me than it do for you guys.
Don't feel that way. You know, we got about the same weight capacity on both sides.
Sometimes you have what's called the normal, and that word gets you together.
Right on.
That's right. I love you guys.
All right, thank you for all that you do. All right.
All right,
much
sweetie. Have a
appreciated.
good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, we got to say good morning to all the viewing audience out there. If you want to get in the conversation, because we're going to go a little bit all around the world today, Brother J. Mr. Wallace,
Yes, sir.
we're going to open it up. The phone lines are currently open at 337-347-7236 until 10:15. Right now it's open until 10:15. Then we're going to have to shut it down for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to open it up again.
Yeah.
But let's get it on the road, Mr. Wallace.
The first thing I want to roll with early voting. You know, early voting is the key to us voting. We got 7 days, folks, 7 days to vote.
To early vote.
And the last day to vote is November the 8th. And that's the last day. And if you don't have time to get out there and vote that day, your vote is not going to be cast. And I always say, go take your name off the books. You know, and what I mean by that is go and cast your vote. You cast your vote. Don't let nobody cast your vote for you at the end of the day. You know, because those votes got to go somewhere. Okay? So this is what it's all about. We need to make sure. You know, your vote don't count. Your vote don't count when you don't go and vote. But if you vote, your vote do count.
Remember, a no vote is a no vote. We got to get out there, exercise our rights to vote. Our ancestors and the civil rights leaders, the community leaders before us went through a tough time to get this process going so that we have that right. So let's exercise that right and not show them that their fight wasn't in vain.
Right. You know, let's show them that their fight wasn't in vain. You know, because when I turned 18, they made sure I was a registered voter. When my kids turned 18, I made sure that they was registered voter. They would give me some lip, you know, about going and register. No, you can't. There's nothing you could say to convince me that you can't go out there and register to vote. Nothing.
And we have on the north side, in the north side community, we have the Martin Luther King Center.
Thanks to Councilman Pat Lewis.
Now available and open for early voting. Early voting gonna start October 25th. So Tuesday we can start early voting, and it's gonna go till November 4th. Then election day vote is November 8th. Let's get out there and exercise our rights to vote. We gonna break the amendments down a little bit today. things that's on the ballot. We gonna break it down a little bit before we get into it, and we gonna let you know what's on the ballot and what it means, what each amendment means.
Okay. Especially those amendments. You know, a lot of people get confused about those amendments. Number 7. Number 7 is the one that we really want to vote yes for. You know, and make sure that we get that off the books.
Correct.
You know? And it's about slave issues. You know, I can't remember exactly, and I forgot my paperwork. You know, that I really wanted to talk about what was going on, but we got to make sure we get out there and vote. You know, I can't tell you who to vote for, but I can tell you, you understand me, that your vote do count. You know, if you don't want to vote, shame on you. If you got kids, grandkids, if you got family members, and you're not voting, you doing them a disservice. You know, that's the way I see it. Now, we all got our issues, but the issue is we need to make sure we get out there and vote.
I got this from from Lafayette Parish election boards and trustees. Lafayette officials are making preparation, verifying voter security. Lafayette officials are making preparation for the upcoming election, sealing 26 early voting machines that has not been in any election tampering locally, and Lafayette leaders are assuring the public that it will remain that way. We want the public to know we do this honest and open. Lafayette Parish Board of Elections is preparing for a busy election day. Lafayette Parish Clerk of Court Louis Perret says they always invite the public to see the process to ensure they know each machine is sealed correctly. We want people to have faith and confidence that the elections are conducted open, fair, free, and honestly. Perret staff rigorously tests the equipment, warning voters to speak up if they notice something unusual. If you see anything that makes you feel uncomfortable, call 337-291-6400 because they want to make sure the public have confidence in us that the election is done fairly, says Perret. In order for things to change for us, we have to get out and vote. And that's coming from the Lafayette Parish election officials.
Yeah, and you know, I don't know what the deadline is to be a poll watcher. They pay pretty good for that day on election day. I don't know how they poll watch early voting. You know, all I do is try to make sure people get out there and early vote. Not get up on election day and go vote early. I'm talking about we got 7 days. 7 days to go out there and vote. And that's what's called early voting, not absentee voting. You know, and I appreciate all those that vote. You know, because when you vote, you're not only helping yourself, but you're helping me too. You help my family members. You're making sure that we are getting adequate representation, you know, regardless. You know, I've been voting for many, many, many years, and I got my voter's registration card with me. I carry it with me at all times, and like Keith always said, if you can't put your hand on your voter's registration card, please re-register. You could go online. It's so easy right now. You could register to vote online. You don't have to go. I used to register people with cards and stuff like this here. You know, And at one time, I was bringing so many voters registration cards to the voters registration office, they started limiting me on how many they was gonna give me, you know, because I was giving them work every time I brought a voters registration card in. And I didn't bring one or two, you know. And I remember I have a friend, you know, when he couldn't vote, or he thought he couldn't vote, when I showed him that he could vote, I wish I would have filmed that, but I didn't know he would have been that happy, you know, to vote, you know. And when he got his voter registration card, I said, wow, it was too late, because all the joy, you know, it's like that commercial, you know, that little kid, the baby took the first step and said, oh, can you make him do it all over again? The first step, no, he done already took his first step. And when he took that step, I mean, he was so happy, you know, and I appreciate that with him. And he always tell everybody, if you want to know anything about voting, talk to Mr. Wallace. No, you got to talk to Louis Perret or Charlene Malbrough, you know, to really get everything down in what's going on. Brother Keith?
You want me to break down the amendments while you get in touch with the two?
No. You could break down the amendment.
Increasing stakes, amendment number 1, increasing the state stocks investment caps. At some point, lawmakers thought it was wise to limit how much the state could invest in the stock market. But these constrictions are now evidently costing Louisiana money. The proposed amendment would raise that ceiling for 4 Pacific funds. Right now, only 35% of proceeds from the Louisiana Quality Education Trust Fund, the Millennium Trust Fund, the Artificial Reef Development Fund, the Marsh Island Refuge Fund, and the Rockefeller Wildlife Refuge Trust and Protection Fund. The state treasurer manages these investments and is forced to sell off profitable stocks when growth of the fund's portfolio exceeds the 35% limit. It's amendment number 1.
Okay, we got a caller coming in.
Okay.
Good morning, caller. Good morning, caller.
It didn't get it.
I don't know what happened.
I think you hit the wrong button.
Okay.
Go try. Try calling again. While we're waiting for the caller, amendment number 2, homestead exemption for disabled veterans. The proposed change to the Constitution will continue a series of exceptions to ease the property tax burden of military veterans with significant disabilities. Amendment number 3, civil service employees and political campaigns. Government employees who are in a state or local civil service system currently aren't allowed to prominently support the campaigns of political candidates. The proposed amendment would remove this prohibition for workers who have a family member running for office.
Okay, the caller.
Let's take that call.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Mr. Wallace. How are you this morning?
Oh, fine, and yourself?
Good, good. This is Toby Aguilar calling.
Good morning, Mr. Aguilar.
Good morning,
Good morning
to
to everybody, all your listeners. Keith, good morning, y'all. I wanted to just call in and say it's a great show today, as usual. And the other thing, Mr. Wallace, I saw you in town yesterday. You got your early voting signs on your truck. I just want to thank you for all you do for the community and encourage all of your listeners to vote early. You're absolutely right. Every vote counts. We need the votes. People need to express themselves by voting, and I love the fact that you're always encouraging us, and I appreciate it.
all right. Mr. Aguilar, you running for office right now, right?
That's correct. I'm running for city court judge in Lafayette, number 59 on the ballot.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you checking our show out, and we appreciate you running for office, and I thank you for all the words of encouragement.
Mr. Aguilar, do you want to give the callers a breakdown of who you is and where you from, your background?
Sure. So many folks may remember me as their chief of police a few years back under Joel Robideau. But I'm an attorney. I'm practicing law here in Lafayette. I have a family, a wife and 2 kids, and I've been in public service most of my career, starting at a very young age as a deputy sheriff, and later went to law school and was a prosecutor for many years, specifically prosecuting child pornography cases and internet predator cases. But eventually becoming the chief of police of Lafayette, which was a great job. It was one of the highlights of my career, and just have thoroughly enjoyed being in Lafayette and being amidst all of our culture and great people we have here. And now I'm running for city court judge, and I'm asking folks to consider me when they vote because I'm eager to get back into public service and in particular serving the citizens of Lafayette.
All right.
Thank you for calling in, Mr. Aguilar.
Yeah.
And we wish you the best of luck.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, folks. Thank you for everything you do for our community.
Okay, keep listening. Keep listening.
Will do.
And don't be afraid to call in.
Okay, will do.
All right, thank you, Chief.
That was Mr. Toby Aguilar on the line. Viewers, running for city court judge. I think he said he's number 59 on the ballot.
Yeah. So, well, at least we know we got a official listening to us.
Listening, checking in out.
Yeah, so that's good.
Amendment number 4 is waiving water charges from infrastructure damage. It's illegal in Louisiana for the state or any local government to give away something of value for free, no matter how deserving the recipient or insignificant the cost. It is why you see cities auction off outdated office furniture and vehicles well past their prime. The policy is meant to protect the public's investment, but there's a glitch in the policy that backers of the amendment say is doing more harm than good. All too often we hear about public utilities that bill customers for far more water than they actually use. A broken meter or leaky pipe leads to the exponential charge, and it can be far from a simple process to correct the overbilling. Amendment 4 would allow a local government to waive charges of the water loss if the issue involves public infrastructure. Amendment 5, avoiding maximum property millages. If I were to predict which of the 8 amendments might fail just because voters will struggle to figure out what does, Amendment 5 would be the clear winner. Let's use an example to explain this. A fire district that has voter authority to collect up to 2.5 mils in tax over 10 years to pay for new trucks and equipment. That's up to part is important here because not all taxing entities will collect the maximum. Instead, the fire district will adjust the actual millage to account for increase in property value. So if those values go up, the millage can be rolled back. Let's say 2.1 mils, and the district will still collect the same amount in taxes. The upside for property owners is that they don't see a jump in their tax bill. The amendment will do away with the need to max out a millage before it expires. Amendment 6 is for Orleans Parish assessment, so it doesn't pertain to Lafayette. Amendment 7, prohibiting slavery and involuntary substitute. Louisiana is one of 4 states. Oregon, Tennessee, and Vermont are the others, with a measure on this fall's ballot to formally outlaw slavery. Colorado, Nebraska, and Utah voters have already approved the ban. One exception under Louisiana proposal would be for the otherwise lawful administration of criminal justice, according to the legislation that created the amendment. This means incarcerated people could still be forced to perform labor. Amendment 8, rectifying homestead exemption for the disabled. Like Amendment 2, this proposed change is aimed at making the property tax exemption process easier for the disabled population. And that's the breakdown of all 8 amendments. The most serious one is Amendment 7.
Yeah.
Now, we know it's a little bit of controversy with Amendment 7, but that's the first step. We got work to do on it. It would prohibit slavery throughout the state of Louisiana, but it would still allow for incarcerated people to be forced to perform labor.
Mhm.
So simply just want to take the wording out of the Constitution, right?
Correct.
Okay. In form with just like everything else in Louisiana.
So 200, I just want to say this. 200 years later,
Yes,
slavery was supposed to been done with, abolished. But yet here, we still have laws on the books, folks, that allows slavery. So slavery was not abolished when they said it was supposed to be abolished.
not here in Louisiana.
Not here in Louisiana. So I say if this amendment passed, which we gonna vote for it, I hope it passed. I hope we vote for it. But if this amendment passed, November 8, 2022 would abolish slavery in the Louisiana State's Constitution.
And the other word they use for it is involuntary servitude.
Servitude.
Yeah.
In other words, you heard when you got sentenced, we sentenced you to hard labor.
Yeah.
That's not gonna stop.
Stop. No, the hard labor not gonna stop. That's the controversial part of the amendment, is that the hard labor is not going to stop. But I believe after this pass, if it passed, I believe it's going to be work further. I mean, I heard a few people in the Louisiana state.
And again, we had the activist on the open line, Decarcerate Louisiana, Mr. Curtis Davis, and and I know he is adamant about that. We talked to someone from the Louisiana ACLU about that. Everybody's, all the civil rights groups are on board for the recommendation, right? But it basically deals with language, and that's still a start.
Correct.
You know, some people say, "Oh, it's about nothing," but it's a start.
Yeah, well, the language that's always used, we got to understand how, to add things or take it away. I always just talk about amending. You could put things out there, but you could also come back and amend it. And most of the time when they say amend something, those are the things that we have to watch what we looking at. Because they could give you one thing, but they could come back and amend it and take it away. So we got to understand the wording and what's really going on in our society.
Yeah, and this is the thing. I know people is saying why vote for this amendment, and it doesn't fully. It gets us one step closer to where we want to be.
Yeah.
Where we want to be.
We got to take that first step.
We got to take that first step. We got to take the wording out the Constitution. Didn't go at the Constitution where it backsides with another portion.
And you and Brother Wiles, I had that discussion separately with you guys about things. all these things are what you call eternal fights.
Yeah.
We just got to pass it on to the younger generation, because some of that won't get changed in our time. I want to mention this when you open up, and I'm gonna let you guys have. I'm your director.
Go ahead,
Brother
brother.
Jay.
No.
Take control.
Biggest condolences go out. There was a very horrendous shooting last night on the campus of Southern University. 9 people injured. People, we got to acknowledge that. Put down those guns. And for those who called the radio show a while back and say, y'all keep talking about it, they could do it more often. We got to talk about it. That's the elephant in the room. Put those guns down. You're not even safe sending your child to a university. And one more thing, Keith, the Louisiana congressional incumbents raised over $60 million to protect their federal congressional suits. I mean, seats, well, suits too. $60 million. All the how many congressmen we have in the state? What we got? 7.
I think so.
7. Wow. And maybe the one out of New Orleans, Troy Carter, might have got a few dollars, but we know those who getting the big bucks. $60 million. That's a lot of money, so you know how valuable those seats are. I'm gonna leave it at that, brother.
Yeah,
Keith.
well, you can't leave it right there, because
We gotta.
what these seats do, these people get in office, they raise all this money to get in office, and the people that help them get in office, the big corporations, they constantly giving them money to do it their way.
I'm gonna say, go ahead, Miss
Go
Warner.
ahead.
But brother Jay, I wanna kind of expound on both of your comments. For as the shooting, and our hearts goes out to the victim of the Southern shoot. Our heart goes out to the victim in the New Iberia shooting too. And
Well, not just in Iberia, all over.
Yeah,
all of
it's happening every day.
all the shooting
Yeah.
victims,
Yeah.
all the victims of violence.
Yeah, because we have them here too in Lafayette. And the biggest thing, the Republican holler, oh, the Democrats want to take our gun. We're not trying to take no gun. We're just trying to stop the violent shooting, with those AKs and Glock guns with high powerful ammunition and stuff like this here.
And I'm gonna say this: it's time for our local, state, and federal congressional leaders, Congress, to take the NRA by arms. It's time to toughen up on the NRA. And not only that, it's time for the federal, state, and local government to start putting mental health therapy, and not just mental health therapy. There's other organizations that break down the culture and explain the culture. We need to start putting these organizations in the community to kind of talk to the community, console the community, because this is not just someone waking up and saying, "I want to shoot somebody."
Oh no, you had time to think about this, and I look at it like this here: the NRA is the biggest contributor of weapons, and we're allowing these young kids to buy these guns, get all the ammunition we need and stuff like this here. And they have time to load all these ammunition up in these clips, and things like this here.
This is a culture and a mental health thing. It's a crisis. It becomes the norm. Before, you would hear about it, but you wouldn't hear about it as often. This has become the norm.
Oh, Opelousas is cammering up, bro.
It's the norm.
But Opelousas is cammering up. Oh yeah, they cammering up, and I don't blame them. You know, I
Mhm.
don't blame law enforcement for putting cameras all over the place. You know, and it's not to invade your privacy. It's to invade the criminal act that's going on in your community. You know, people are scared to come outside. People are scared to go shopping. People are scared to drive. You know, scared to visit. All these things, man. You know, so I remember when they first started talking about cameras. You know, I asked them to put one in the front of my house. You know, I'm not doing nothing wrong, so I don't have no fear in a camera being around me. I don't have no fear with cameras being on me now. I'm not
Yeah,
doing
you in front of
anything.
some cameras.
Correct.
You know,
Bunch of cameras.
Yeah.
Bunch of,
Yeah, bunch,
you know, so why should anybody fear a camera? You know, you put cameras around your house, you know, to protect your home and stuff like this here. It's the norm now, you know. You got to have cameras around you, because if something happened to you now, somebody will see or recognize who's on that camera, you know. Some of those cameras, when I look at the news, some of those cameras don't give good silhouette of a person, but somebody knows something about that person on that camera, you know.
and Brother J, as far as the congressional leaders picking up all this money and fundraising, most of it is the gun manufacturers.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And I want to piggyback off of Leslie Olivier interview with Taylor White on yesterday, because she's running for 3rd congressional, and she said she's keeping her fundraiser small. Not that she don't want the expenses. She keeping it small to show the community that holding a congressional seat or holding public office is not about the dollar. It's about going to Washington or going to Congress and changing rules to enact and embark on people's lives, to changing people's lives. I mean, and that's the thing. With our congressional, local, and state seats, it looked like these officials that got away from the way of changing people's lives, and going into the community and seeing what that community need to change the aspect of that community. And to every local official, federal official, every state official that's listening out there, if you can go and examine your district area,
Yeah.
or your constituent area, and see what needs to be done to change the aspect of that community, to change somebody's life, or to change your constituent's life. That's what needs to be done.
Okay. Well, look, on the phone now, we got Paul out of Lake Charles.
Okay.
And he's, hey, Paul?
Good morning, y'all.
Good morning, good morning. How's everything going?
Good day, Lafayette surrounded there.
Mhm.
Well, it's always a pleasure to speak with you guys. Man, y'all moving some, brother. I'm told I know I keep harping on, but I'm proud of y'all, man, with y'all, the work y'all do there.
Yes.
Brother Milo,
Thank you, brother.
Brother Wallace, Long Dog, we've been having to beat this girl for a long time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So now just a moment in history when it's available for change, and I think it's waiting in the wings what's about to happen. And you know, my thing is this. I'm asking people, I'm not going to tell you about how people died and all that. We understand that. But the issue is now, I'm asking people 80% voting participation. People like me and Wild and Follow, we over 100 deep, and some others, we over the top on 100 plus. All I'm asking for the people in this state, that's the outcome, is 80% voter participation. I'm asking for 80%.
80%.
80%.
Instead of
Not 100%, 80%.
Yeah, and you're not asking, well, we're already getting 20%.
If we get 100%, that's fine.
Yeah,
But all we asking is 80%.
yeah, if you get out there and turn out an 80%, we could change things. But we can't change it unless we all participate, not some of us participating. You know, we're trying to bring y'all the word, let y'all know what's really happening. Here's this man, you know, calling out Lake Charles, you know, and he have a lot of issues that, well, Lake Charles have a lot of issues that's going on too, you know, and we're trying to get the word out to everybody, not just somebody, everybody.
Mr. Greer, Mr. Paul, there's are y'all being charged a fee for public requests out there in Lake Charles?
Yeah.
Okay.
And like you talking about FOI, you talking about Freedom of Information Act.
Yeah.
That's, you know, that's the way they take. But what I have always used, when I ask for it, I say this is for the public right to know. I'm not an entity, I'm just a citizen. I'm not a law firm or entity. They put unreasonable requests. I know things cost, but I'm just a regular citizen. I've been having a problem with that. Getting like the budget book I always got in the past, there wasn't no problem. Now all of a sudden, they want to be paid $90 for a regular citizen. I'm not a firm or corporation.
Let me explain to you what they doing out here.
Go ahead.
Here in Lafayette, the mayor president took it upon itself, even though the charter said anything dealing with financial, it has to go in front of a vote of the council. But the mayor president took it upon itself to charge $1 per page fee, or electronic copy. But you could view it for free, but it's at the 50 Judicial District Courthouse on the old at 7th floor where the old jail used to be. And you cannot bring no phone, no camcorder. You can't bring anything that records in that facility. So that's what you call suppression of information. They don't. That's information they don't want to get out to the people.
Right.
Well, I'm going to show you something similar to what y'all talking about. We had an incident Wednesday night. I was present too, because I've been live streaming the council. These entities that's not available. The only one online is like we're a little small local town software was doing it, but all of a sudden they ceased. So the only one doing it on a regular basis is the parish. So we brought up, one of the council members brought up the telephone. This year is the third time. The other two times was the former Mayor Morris, was a lady council. She passed during this last term, and she passed after she won this last term. And she brought it up twice. And the one that was fighting against her was the one that looked like her. They saying, oh, we don't want to embarrass people. So it came up that night, they making the same arguments. Oh, I'm not against it, but that you are. Then the other one jumps in, oh, we gonna defer it when the guy already talked to. The cops will talk to each one, and they want to hear, but when they get in public, they change the course of the vote. You want to delay something that's elementary. And to me, public is public. That is part of the process. They had the nerve to mention, oh, well, we need to edit. We don't want it to be a reality show. That was their problem.
And these officials don't understand everything that happens in the meeting, from the minutes to if they send out an email to somebody or on the government's through the government's in any government channel, that information belongs to the public, the general
That's
public.
right, that's right,
Mhm.
that's right.
Yeah, but they act like they're trying to take all the Public Information Act away from us, so we can't see or rebuttal what they're doing, and that's all it is.
And something else they do too, they always dot stuff out saying it's privileged information. That's how they would do when they want to say privilege, to pass the public.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
So,
This is transparent, they got a problem. But I know what they problem, they don't want the public to see how they be acting up there.
right.
Some of the things, how they vote and stuff. And they even tell you, oh, the minutes don't be a total package of the minute. You know what they want you to do? Go sit what he told y'all about the court up. Go over there to the office, and you gotta go there when you look through the book while he sitting there looking.
Yes, yeah.
Correct.
Well, they're trying to put fear in you, really.
Yep,
You
that's
know-
exactly right.
Let me give Brother Paul some yours to think about. I did not know the former president, Trump Force One, was being rehabbed over there at the little small airport in Lake Charles. CNN showed that today, and I was reading the article.
I see
And
that.
I guess he's getting ready to roll hard upcoming season. So, with that said, Brother Paul, do you think they will ever bring indictments against the former president?
I don't think so, because they dragging their feet. Let me tell y'all something, brother. Nixon had very less thing what he did.
I
and
tell
he
you-
got impeached. Compared to Joker that did every rule in the book.
I tell you this.
Especially beginning with Sean and his financial records.
I tell you this, Mr. Paul. You could bring indictments. They could bring indictments like the impeachment. They could bring the indictments like the House did the impeachment inquiry.
But then they
But
don't get cooperation
who
from the other side.
gonna convict him? You know who gonna convict him? What judge gonna convict him? The Supreme Court is a Republican majority, conservative majority right now. Who gonna
You know
convict him?
something? I don't know the exact ruling. Do you know they turned back some case? I think it was the case where they made a 350. You know the Supreme Court hadn't even found time, or they hadn't even took that on the book. There needs to be a lawsuit just filed basically on them. But they said we 350. That's still on the books, man. They talk about slavery. They need to work on that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
still legitimately on the law book.
Yeah.
350 is weed.
Yeah, where the black person, every 5 people, every 3 people out of 5 black people is counted as a person.
Mm-hmm. You know, I've been listening to C-SPAN, Brother Paul, and to hear the people call and speak against the people that's speaking about Trump and what he's doing, hear the people that disagree with the January 6th committee and things like this here. You know, I don't know where some of these people is getting their thoughts from, their brains from, but, you know, somebody called Trump the Antichrist. And man, somebody called behind that person and talk about him like I don't know what, you know.
I know.
That was crazy.
I know our time is running short, but
Yeah. I was running short, Brother Paul.
I was asked to.
Appreciate your call, man.
Yes, man, y'all keep doing what you're doing, brother. I'm with y'all, man.
I was asked
And
to.
I love what y'all doing, brother. I
Thank you.
appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, brother.
I was asked to share this with the city of Lafayette citizens, Lafayette and unincorporated areas of the parish. Lafayette City Parish government has announced the selection of a new trash company. Here is the statement sent by LCG. For the first time in 15 years, Lafayette Consolidated Government has utilized the public bid process to competitively procure a new service provided for waste and recycling services in the city and unincorporated areas of the parish. Acadiana Waste Service has been selected to take over solid waste and recycling collection service in the city of Lafayette. Lafayette and unincorporated areas of Lafayette Parish beginning on November 1st, 2023. AWS was among 5 waste services provided who submitted proposals early this year. Under the new contract, city residents can expect a monthly payment of $28.68 per month, and residents in the unincorporated area of the parish will see a rate of $29.67 monthly. Primary changes customers will see under the new contract are as follows. Recycling carts must be requested. Recycling and garbage carts will be 2 different colors. Bulky items will be collected every week instead of just 1 week out of each month. And there will be collected curbside on bulky days, also with collection of tires. And Councilman Pat Lewis, City Councilman Pat Lewis and Parish Councilman Brian Tabler served on the RFP scoring committee.
Okay, well, at least, this garbage collector gonna pick up old tires. Something that we had problem with the other entity, doing what they have to do. Well, folks,
We know how Tom Cupcake has come to an end.
yeah,
Every Friday it gets a little heated, and
Yeah.
we kind of
but
go out time.
yeah, but we want to thank you guys for allowing us to come into your heart, into your eyes, into your ears. Hopefully the message that we delivered today brought some closure to some of the questions that you needed to know, and with that, Brother Keith.
Thank you for tuning in to all of you in the audience. Check us out next Friday. Check it out Saturday, 88.3 tomorrow from 9 to 11. The People's Tech and Entertainment Show. And thank y'all for tuning in. Keep tuning in. We're going to keep bringing you the best of information. I got 1 minute to put the disclaimer out there. The views and opinions reflected today does not reflect the views and opinions of Acadiana Open Channel, Coast Communication, Digital Soul Media, LUS Fiber, Lafayette Utility System, Lafayette Consolidated Government. The views and opinions reflected today only reflects the views and opinions of the hosts and director. Thank y'all.
Good morning, Famous Cuisine.
Good morning to Famous Cuisine.
All right.
Come down to the right time.
Huh?
You will finally come down to the right time, and
Okay.
then we'll go off at 56 minutes. Yep. Okay.
Another hot topic show.
Stop. Stream. Okay. Be out of there.
Cut the green light off.
Yeah, we stop.
Oh, it's still streaming.
No, why it's doing that.
That's it. Froze.
Okay.
There you go.
There we go. No, I hit it twice again, so that don't count. That don't count. When you go somewhere and you hit it.
Kill your cameras now.
Yeah, so you don't want to say that open mic? Me, I go back and edit stuff off me.